You want to know how I really feel? Don't get mad. You're gonna get mad. You want to know how I really feel? I feel like you shouldn't get married. And I know I've already said this, but whenever I go to give advice.
Hello everyone, welcome back to The Dating View. In today's video, men and women share their perspectives on why they don't want to get married and why some believe marriage is no longer worth pursuing. They talk about personal experiences, changing values, financial concerns, and the expectations that influence how they view long-term commitment. This conversation explores how attitudes toward marriage are evolving, what people feel has changed over time, and why some are choosing alternative paths when it comes to relationships and commitment.
Apparently my view on marriage pisses off a lot of people, and I don't get it because it has nothing to do with them and everything to do with my life and my decisions, because I want to be a wife, but I don't want to get married. Hold on. I genuinely do not want the legal and financial issues that come with possibly getting divorced. And obviously I don't want to think the worst or think ahead, but it is the reality in a lot of marriages and in divorce. Not everybody is super lucky, and I'm not going to think that I'm above the status, like above the statistics, just because I want to be. Every single guy that I have told this to gets offended. They're like, so you don't want to marry me? You don't want to get married? Well, I want a wife. I want to get married. And I'm like, okay, I'm happy for you. Then you're not my person if you can't see yourself creating a life with me without me needing to have your last name behind it. I don't understand the issue. Do you want to be married and have a shitty marriage and a half-assed woman? Or would you rather see the value in a woman who is like, I don't want to get married, but I do want to commit to you, and I do want to create a beautiful family for you, and I do want to create a loving home, and I do want to create a space where you can thrive. And then they always are like, well, would you sign a prenup? First of all, honey, I'm gonna have more money than you. I am gonna be the breadwinner of the house. It's just, I was raised by a single woman who is an entrepreneur. She's very happily married, but she is Miss Breadwinner. I will be the breadwinner of the house. I don't need your fucking prenup. Matter of fact, we can sign it, but we're not gonna need to because I'm not getting married. You know how many experienced, married, divorced women have told me not to get married or just to take my time, like a lot of time, before I get married? Does that sound like a riveting experience for a woman to just hop into? No. I think marriage is outdated. I think everybody just does it because they think that they need to do it and not because they actually want to or think about this. Like, you've been with someone so long, so you just have to get married. No, you don't.
I don't think I'm ever gonna get married. Now, before you think this is sad or depressing, I don't think so. Let me tell you why. I truly don't think there's a person out there for me, or, maybe I haven't found it, but I don't think I'll ever find someone that I'm meant to marry or be with. Like, I don't know. I've had the worst luck in my love life that I don't know. It's so hard to explain whenever people ask me if I want to get married. Yes, I mean, I feel like most people would like to get married, but for me, I just don't think I'm meant to get married, like, at all. I don't think there's someone out there that would want to spend the rest of their life with me. I don't maybe I haven't met anyone, but at the same time, I'm like, I don't know. I could totally be wrong. I don't have a feeling that tells me, oh, you'll get married one day, you'll have kids one day. I don't have that feeling. As I've gotten older, that idea of getting married is fading away. And the reason why I say that is because every man that I've met in my life, they're the worst. Every single man that I've had in my life, they either don't want commitment, or we date for like 2 months, 3 months, and then that's it. Maybe there's something wrong with me, but I'm kind of getting tired of dealing with men that don't want anything serious. Kind of over it. Not necessarily dating. Like, if I do meet someone that I really like and, we try it out, cool. but I'm kind of tired of doing just casual dating. I feel like I'm ready for something serious, but at the same time, I'm like, do I really want something serious? Maybe it's me, you know, maybe I'm the one afraid of commitment because get this, I always have dreams of me getting married. Me, minutes before getting married, I'm in my white dress. I'm about to say yes to my future husband, and I start crying and I start feeling I don't want to do this. And that is terrifying for me because let's say that happens one day, like what the hell am I gonna do? I don't know what that dream is trying to tell me, but it's kind of scary. I would love to meet someone who fulfills all my expectations in a partner. But if that never happens, I don't think I'll ever get married. And it's not sad. It kind of sucks because if that never happened, I don't know what I'm gonna do. I just think it's gonna be my cat and I for the rest of my life. She will live forever. Don't be saying anything negative about my cat. She is gonna be with me for the rest of my life. We'll see, but I'm getting older and I haven't met anybody. It's been years. I've been single for so long that where am I even gonna meet a man? I don't know. I just don't think that marriage is in my future. And I'm okay with that. I don't know what I'm gonna do with my life. Nowadays, nobody wants to date. Nobody wants a commitment. Everybody just wants to, I don't even know, live freely, not have a commitment. I don't know. I'm not looking. I don't know. I'm just waiting, you know? They say it happens when you least expect it. I haven't been expecting for so long and nothing has ever happened. So I'm like, is that even real? I have no clue.
This is my scolding hot take, and you're either going to be ready to hear this or you're not going to be. Women historically have been slaves. I understand there's different forms of slavery, but women, in the true definition of the word, have been enslaved. Marriage was the act of making women property. Marriage was the way of exchanging women as property. Marriage was the property transfer of a woman between her father and her husband. Regardless of how you feel about it, that's the fact. That was the origination, the original purpose of marriage as a construct. The reason why you see divorce rates rise is because women finally have agency over whether or not we stay in these marriages. The reason why you're seeing marriage rates and birth rates decline is because for the first time in human history, women have had more agency than we've ever had on whether or not we get married in the first place and whether or not we decide to have children. There is a reason why women have been socially conditioned into believing that if we don't have children or if we're not married or a man didn't choose us, that's like the biggest insult to our identity or our value as human beings. I personally disagree with the entire construct of marriage. I believe that marriage signifies the ownership of women, and I disagree with it as a concept as a whole. And if you're not new to my page, you know that I have no intention of ever getting married. I relish in the idea of being single. I do not want to have any children. And I relish in the idea that for the first time, I'm one of the first generations of women who have the freedom to not participate in any of those things. So to me, not only is it not an insult to my identity and does not dictate my worthiness as a human being, it is a privilege that I get to choose not to get married. It is a privilege that I get to choose not to have children. And I believe that as a woman, you should avoid getting married. You should avoid having children. I think if you are even remotely on the fence about any of those concepts, you need to avoid it. Marriage benefits men, and having children benefits the patriarchy. I'm not saying that no one should have children, or that's where it gets kind of like muddy. Like, I think that marriage does have protections for women who do want to have children, or for women who are with a partner who's great, there are legal protections around that marriage works in favor for. But as a general concept, I think marriage represents the enslavement of women. I think marriage represents, and this is just the way it is. This isn't my opinion. This is what it's been historically. Marriage represents the ownership of property that is women. Marriage is a huge deal, and especially as a woman, if you are at all on the fence about getting married, you need to not get married. Fuck the soft life shit. Fuck the not doing anything with your life. Fuck not making your own money. You need to make your own money. That is a privilege. That is a blessing that you live in a time where you can make your own money and you can make something out of your own life. Do not trade this privilege that women have fought for a G-Wagon or for trips to Erewhon. You are worth so much more than that. Your life is worth so much more than that. You live in a time unlike any other in human history. There are women before you who would have given anything to be able to have the opportunities that you have today. They would have given anything. If you marry a rich man, your life will be controlled by him. Your quality of life is going to be dictated by that man. Your relationship may look a certain way today, but it could be very different 10 years from now. It could be very different after you have 4 of his children. It's not worth the Chanel bags. It's not worth the Cartier bracelets. It's not worth the fancy vacations. This is your one life. This is your independence. This is your autonomy. Please just think very long and hard before you enter these contracts, because getting out of marriage, going through a divorce is a fucking grueling process. Co-parenting with somebody who is being difficult, who is trying to control you, is a all-consuming process. You need to really understand what you're signing up for when you do that. This is not something that you do unless you are absolutely sure. Again, it's super nuanced, and there are legal protections that work in women's favor when it comes to marriage. But if I were to give you any kind of advice, avoid getting married, make your own money, do your own thing with your life. Do not put all your eggs in the basket of a man. Because once you get married and once you have those children, everything is different. You do not have that same freedom anymore. You will not have that same opportunity anymore. You can still make it happen. And there are women who their children are like the best thing. It's like, I totally understand. I respect that. I'm not saying it's impossible, but it's going to be very hard and it's going to be very different. Being single and childless is a fucking flex. Okay? It is. It's much better than being in a grueling divorce, being in an unhappy marriage, being controlled by a man, or having to co-parent with someone who's fucking crazy. Please just take this seriously. Okay?
As somebody who never got married and doesn't have kids, the older I get, the happier I am with my decision. Specifically, not getting married. Everywhere I look, I see divorce. Everywhere. It's very rare that somebody is married long term and happy. Usually the people who are married after, I don't know, a couple of years, they're miserable. And most of them get divorced. Some of them stuck it out because of the kids or whatever the reasons are. Marriage in today's age is just not worth it. The only thing you're doing if you're getting married is you're risking losing all of your assets. I say all of your assets because there's plenty of men who lost everything, who are now homeless because they got divorced. It's just not worth it anymore, guys. It's not worth it. If you're married and your wife just decides not to work and she's just at home and not doing anything, if you get divorced, you are screwed. You are screwed because you're going to have to pay her alimony and you're going to have to probably give her the house, pay for the house, pay for her lawyer, your lawyer, all of that shit. It can be financially draining. In most cases, it is financially draining. It's just not a good proposition anymore to get married. If you want to be with somebody, be with somebody. Why do you need to be married? You know what? I know why. Because women are pushing for marriage. Women are the ones pushing for marriage. And then women are also the ones that are initiating divorce. Make that make sense. Because women are emotional. They can love you and like you 1 year, and then in 2 months, they don't like you anymore. And they want a divorce. And then you're screwed. Forget about all the wows and everything. If woman changes her mind, and they do change their mind often, as you all know, they change their mind often. One day she loves you, next day she doesn't love you anymore and wants to divorce you. Because that's how she feels. So if she can do that, why getting married? Because if you're not married, she doesn't like you, she can go. You don't lose anything. You don't lose half of your shit or most of your shit. So don't get married. If you want to be with somebody, be with somebody. You can live with them. You can share household with them. You can do whatever you want to do without signing some papers with the state, so the state can decide how to split up your assets when you get married. It's not even if anymore, it's when. So stay smart, don't get married.
You want to know how I really feel? Don't get mad. You're gonna get mad. You want to know how I really feel? I feel like you shouldn't get married. And I know I've already said this, but whenever I go to give advice on all these horror stories that I see, whether it be with like Hailey Bieber or other people, or that trend that's going around right now where it's like, oh, but there used to be a time. I really wish women would stop getting married. And there's always a conversation that's being had around like SW and how like SW sets women back and how it feeds into the patriarchy. And just because a woman chooses to participate in it doesn't mean that it's not still harmful and doesn't mean that it's empowering. And that's a whole nother conversation. But if we're going to say that about SW, I think this is my little opinion. That's probably going to make you mad, but I feel like the same can be said for marriage. Marriage is an antiquated idea that I believe oppresses women and unrefutably has a history and an origination in the oppression of women. So I feel like we're trying to continue to get something to work that is so flawed from its inception, and it's not going to work. Okay? I don't know what the answers are. It's not something that I personally consider because I wrote off getting married since I was a little girl. I put together the pieces of what marriage was, and I was like, oh yeah, no, thank you. And it just hurts my heart. Initially my stance was like, some women, that's really what they want in their lives. I'm gonna, I am more of a choice feminist in that way. I'm like, that's what they want. I want them to be able to have the freedom to make choices and to choose the kind of life that they want, and that is what they want, so it's great. But then I see these videos of these young women who are buying into this fairy tale that I believe is it's a lie a little bit, right? And that sounds really cynical, but it doesn't have to be cynical because life is beautiful and there's so many other things that you can want out of life. But I just feel like with the whole marriage thing, the odds are not stacked in your favor. And I think we need to kind of like dispel the idea a little bit and kind of rethink the way that we see marriage.
Why are people always saying, oh, I can't wait to get married? Getting married is my worst fucking nightmare.
Getting married is my worst fucking nightmare. Getting married is my worst fucking nightmare.
Like, bro, I'm not really sure if you have seen this generation,
But it's filled with a bunch of slurp and fucking burp demons. I mean,
this generation is full of straight bops. I mean, there is not a single good thing that comes out of getting married. Like, what the fuck do you mean my marriage is going to cost $30,000? In this fucking economy? Yeah, I think I'm fucking good.
yeah, I think I'm fucking good. Yeah, I think I'm fucking good.
I'm dropping $30K to get married
Without a prenup,
by the way, just to get cheated on? Miss me with that bullshit?
Miss me with that bullshit? Miss me with that bullshit?
I saw a dude post a TikTok on here the other day of how he proposed to his girlfriend of 5 years. And here I am thinking, man, good for that guy. I'm sure all the comments are going to be super happy and excited for this guy. Oh boy, was I fucking wrong.
Oh boy, was I fucking wrong. Oh boy, was I fucking wrong.
I open up the comment section and all I see is these single women that are saying, oh my gosh, that ring is so small, or if you're broke, just say that.
What the fuck are you talking about?
Like, bro, they're getting married, and somehow you find a way to hate on a brother? I mean, fuck, man. Single woman keep women single, and I will die on that fucking hill. I didn't know that true love required a
Diamond ring the size of fucking Jupiter.
a fucking honeymoon to Turks and Caicos, but I mean, you know, once again, I forgot we're in 2025, the era of the internet. Anyways, y'all stay safe out there because you will never
Catch me getting married.